Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today is the May collaboration with Terra from Mayhem Crafty Cards and Michele from Scrap Secrets. And our theme for today was using honeybee products with a summer theme. So I am going to be using all die cuts and pattern paper. So I've used the pattern paper that I showed you. It's a seascape pattern paper. I just used one of the wood planked ones. And then for my die cuts, I'm using the Lovely Layers Hummingbird and Rose. I absolutely love these two die sets. I have multiple flowers, but I'm particularly very fond of the Rose. So I am just going through and ink blending with some Distress Oxide inks. I used Forest Moss right here for the greenery. So I just showed you the one green, and then I did all of the rest of them using the same color. I just didn't show you every single piece. And now for the rose layers, I am first using just what's dirty on my brush, and then I will use it is pink. That one. I'm sorry, you guys. I literally just got home from having surgery on my trigger thumb, so I'm still numb, so I'm trying to get this voiceover done before I am no longer numb and am probably quite uncomfortable. So I will link the colors that I use down below so that you'll have them, but like I said, they're all Distress Oxides. And now I am just doing all the parts and pieces of the hummingbird. I went with blues and purples and greens just to try to have some fun colors that also are, sometimes found with hummingbirds. I have a hummingbird feeder for the first time, and I've seen one hummingbird so far. So I'm trying, but I live in the city, so I don't know how plentiful they are, but I definitely enjoy watching them down at my mother. She lives more in the country setting, so they are definitely fun to watch come up to the bird feeders. So I am just ink blending, cleaning up as I go so that I don't, end up with brown mud on all of my little cutout pieces. And I did these, I normally use the same paper that I use for my card bases, but I went with a lighter weight cardstock this time. So because you do layer them up, so they can get pretty thick if you use thick paper, which I don't mind at all, but I went with some paper I'd gotten from Walmart. I've been trying to find a card base alternative since Joann's is closing, and I got my paper there and loved it for all of my card bases. But I did find at Michael's a pretty comparable. It's not quite as heavy as the other one, but it will do. So that one's working out as far as my card bases go, because I had to adjust because I was using the Park Lane products. And then once I get all of my ink blending done, this is the eye that I'm just using a black Sharpie marker to color that. I could have cut it out of some black cardstock, but it was just as easy to color it in with the marker. So then I am off screen to the left of me. I just have the guide, because Honeybee comes with these awesome color guides that show you what parts and pieces go where when you use the Lovely Layers dies. So I'm just following that and putting together my hummingbird, and then I will put together my rose. And I'm showing you all of the hummingbird going together. For the rose, I'll just show you kind of the process of what I do to get one of them put together, and then I'll cut that part out because you don't have to watch me. It's just repeating. It goes from largest to smallest, and again, there's a guide for it to follow if you get confused and need to have some help figuring it out. So this is the monthly hop that I do with Michele from Scrap Secrets and Terra from Mayhem Crafty Cards. So I can't wait to see how their projects came together. I will link their channels down below so that you can go and check them out. I'm not quite sure with my hand how many upcoming videos I'm going to have. Sounds like, this could take a few weeks, obviously, to heal. So I've done a few shorts ahead of time that I need to edit that I will post over the next, week or so, just to have something. I'm currently working on Father's Day cards for the nursing facility that I work in. So I've got the majority of that done. So that will be done in time. What projects are you all working on? I know with it being warmer weather, might not be as much crafting going on for everyone. I do have some recent products that I got from Ink Road Stamps. She's been releasing a few things, so I have some fun snarky stamp sets that I need to do some cards with, so that will be, when I'm able to, probably one of my next projects. So I also forgot, thought I was done with the hummingbird, and then found this one lonely piece over to the left, so I added that back on. And I did use on the wings some more of the blue and the green, because I used antique linen on the majority of it, and it just looked a little too plain to me, so I ended up adding a little bit more just from my dirty brushes, just to break that up a little bit so it wasn't just cream. So there's the rose all put together, the rose, the majority of it, all the flower part, and I absolutely love how these roses turn out. So then for the greenery, I am just adding in all of the pieces. You get this one piece that goes to the top, and then you get the separate leaves. So I'm just using my liquid glue for all of this project. This is the Barely Art. Nope, that's not Barely Art's glue. Yes, it is. I've used a couple of liquid glue, so the names of them tend to leave my brain. The other one was art glitter glue that I was using for a while, but I found the Barely Arts glue, and I like this because I live in Vermont, and a lot of times if I run out of it, the other glue would not ship in the winter time, so I was finding that to be a struggle, which I understand. They don't want your glue to freeze, but this one I can get whenever I need it. And this is also a 5x7 card because I wanted to make sure I had enough room for the flower and the hummingbird without feeling like everything was kind of smushed onto my A2 size card. So I went a little bigger for this one, which isn't a size of a card that I normally make. And then I'm just going to lay it out to kind of see how I want everything to go and get that glued down. And I went back and forth on what I should put for a sentiment, and I honestly don't have a lot of sentiment stamps from Honeybee, so I opted to wait until I decide what occasion I want to use this card for, and then at that time I will add a sentiment. So for today, I'm just going to leave it as is with just the rose and the hummingbird. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this project. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them for me down below. And I encourage you to check out Michele and Terra's videos. Like I said, I will link their channels down below. And I hope that you all have a great day.